In this video, traders, we're going to look at 7 signs the trader you are following on social media is new, cocky, and won't last. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a very warm welcome to you. Okay, so this has been going on for years and years and years, and you can even see kind of references to it when you read some of the books from the 1930s. Even the forums, the very early forums that were back in that 2000, 2001, 2002, 3, when I first started out, same kind of stuff. Now it's moved over to social media, Twitter, Facebook, the apps, wherever it may be. The point is the same clowns are in there giving out advice that you need to watch out for because they're about to blow up, and stay away from them. All right, so let's go. Number 1. They give out free advice to anyone who has a trade, what their position is. Someone might be talking about their position, saying, oh, I'm long in this stock or whatever. They just chime in uninvited and start giving out advice. You should do this, you should do that. That stock's going to go there. That market's definitely going to do that. And you're there thinking, well, hang on, who's this clown coming in here giving me this advice? I don't care. But they seem so authoritative. They seem so sure of themselves. They come in with such certainty and they start throwing around their 10 pence worth. A seasoned trader wouldn't do that. Number one, it's not their business to offer advice. If someone came to them and asked them advice, they might offer it, of course, but they would never be so certain with it. They'd always be like, whatever, you know, what you're looking for, what's your kind of approach to it? Have you got any other positions on? Is it part of a portfolio? There's loads of things that you need to consider rather than just chiming in and saying whatever you're doing with that trade. All right, number 2, arrogant certainty market calls. There was a guy, can't remember his name, probably 2002 actually, very active on the forums. He's on the forums. He was so arrogant with his market calls. This Dow is definitely going to bounce here. It's definitely going to go here. I'm going to put in a big position size. It would go lower. I'm going to put an even bigger position size. It would go lower. A week later, it'd be lower. And then he'd disappear. And you think, you know, there's probably people who have followed this guy in with this long Dow call who have now been absolutely slaughtered because he said it was such certainty. He said he's going in full boat. It's gone lower. I'm going in more full boat. I'm going more full boat. Probably isn't even doing it, but if he is, he's probably not actually genuinely doing that kind of size. If he is, he's definitely been wiped out. But it's the certainty and the arrogance of the call without any perception of risk or where it could go wrong. And you see it all the time, that it must happen, and that just doesn't happen with seasoned traders. You know, if you've been trading for a while, you know yourself you can't have that certainty. The game is all about quantifying the risk, setting your reward, placing the trade. There's no this must happen involved in it at all. All right, number 3, never post losing trades, let alone discuss them. They will never ever say, you know what, I took a loss on that one, I'm going to look at the next one. They'll never ever post a losing trade, let alone try and dissect it and learn from it and say, you know what, I lost on that one. Got, you know, any input from anyone who they're following, whatever it may be. Never, never, never. It's all about winners, winners, winners. And you know that it's just not true, because the losers is part of the game. That's where you make your money, ironically, reducing your losers. All right. Let's have a look what else we've got. Number 4, no mention of risk. Kind of alluded to this first when they're the arrogance of the market call. They won't say, hey, you know what, I think this is a long here, but I think really I've got to risk 50 pips, 500 ticks, $10, whatever it may be in the trade. There's no mention of that. It's just a pure market call because they're more interested in being right than they are making money. Now listen, we've talked about this before in videos, and if you're a subscriber to the channel, welcome back. If you're new, welcome as well. Consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. But we have mentioned this before, that you know, it's relatively easy, in inverted commas, to be right, but to make money is the challenge, because we need to quantify our risk. We've got a decent position size to make it worth our while. We're not just calling something that goes against us for 4 or 5 weeks, then goes up 10 ticks. That's useless. But this is what this kind of people are trying to do. They're trying to just be right. They're not talking about risk. And we know that's a small part of the game, predicting direction. The rest of it is, you know, where's the risk? Where's the stop? The psychology, the management, that's the bigger game. And they're only focusing on this, because that's what they believe gives them kudos. Anyway, let's move on. Number 5, they focus solely on the trade entry. This is an interesting one as well. They're like, there's a buy here, there's definitely a sell here, it's definitely a buy here, I'm going to buy this, and then they'll go quiet. They won't talk about the exit, probably because either they didn't take it, they took it, they came out straight away, or they took a loss. As we know, it's half of the trade is the buy. You can have the best buy in the world, it could go up beautifully, but if you don't get that exit and comes back down and goes below your entry, you've lost money. It's just simple trading rules. So they're so focused on the entry, they're not looking at the exit. Unless, of course, they got it right and it goes right up, and they'll be sure to brag and tell you that they came out here, or they'll say I came out, it'll go even higher. They'll say actually I scaled out more now, and it'll be that kind of bluff. And these are already, if you're spotting these things, guys, do not follow people like this at all. Right, number 6, they never mention discipline. Why should they? If they're new, if they're cocky, they've got no reason to do discipline. They're just flying at it. They've got no exposure to managing large accounts. They've got no exposure to kind of drawdowns. They don't know. They've just literally probably made a little bit of money by just betting on whatever they feel like it. It's gone quite well for them, and so the arrogance comes in this. They've got no reason to do that, but it will hit them soon enough. As you and I both know, discipline is the key to this game, and at some point the market will not tolerate any arrogance or ego. It will smack them around the head, and they'll have to learn quickly or they'll be out of the game. Right, number 7, they definitely don't have a plan or journal. They're just firing shooting from the hip. They're just trading on guts, on feel. They've got no real thoughts on what their plan, on the strategy is, what they're waiting for, the journal. They're making calls. They're probably spending more time on social trying to impress people than they are on their own trading, trying to get better. So if you see these kind of patterns, then the chances are they're new, which is fine. New traders are more than welcome in this industry, and it's good to see new traders coming in, and we're learning, and it's nice, and that's the whole point of the game. But if they're new and they're approaching it from this angle, then they've got the new and cocky label on them, then they're not going to last, because this approach isn't the way to do it. If you're a new trader, you're probably well aware that you need to be managing your risk. And I hope you're well aware that you need to be managing your discipline. You need to be keeping a journal. You need a trading plan. You're not going to go out and be certain about market calls. This is the difference between a new trader who has got a good chance of lasting and the new cocky trader who does all this kind of stuff, posts about it all on social, and inevitably will blow up. Or maybe you'll learn his lesson, it'll come back, and he'll start to look at it in a more serious manner and improve. Who knows? But anyway, point is, if you see this kind of guy, steer well clear of him. All right, guys, see you next one. Take care. Bye-bye.